is Angela Dansereau and
Reggie Green.
And we're out here in beautiful Arizona, and we're going to talk a little bit today about buying a home that needs a little bit of loving, a little bit of TLC. There is a great loan option out there for you. It is called the
Renovation loan.
So Reggie, renovation loans. There's so many questions that go along with that. So we're going to do a basic 101 scenario. We're going to talk about a $300,000 house. Make it easy. It just needs a remodeled kitchen and maybe a new master shower. What would be the steps that a consumer would have to do? And decision making and timeline and contacts. There's a ton of questions, but let's start off with the 101 of how do we get started and how do we know if this is the right product?
Yeah, so a renovation loan is really for someone that finds a house maybe in an area that they really want, but the house isn't exactly put together how they want it today. And usually when you're qualifying for a house, you're going to do a down payment of, let's say, 3 or 5%. But let's say after that down payment, you don't have enough money to do all the repairs that you want to do. Okay,
yes.
We see that all the time. So to make it very simple, what you're doing with a renovation loan is you're basically like almost creating the purchase price at a higher amount of what it would be worth once those renovations are done. Because we are financing off typically a purchase price, but they're gonna let you finance off of what we call a subject to value, which is what the house is gonna be worth after the repairs are done.
Okay, so purchase price of the house is $300,000. We want to do $30,000 in reno. Would we put an offer in on the property at $330,000? Is that kind of how it would start?
No, the purchase price would still be $300,000 if that's what you agreed upon.
Okay.
And you would tell the listing agent or the seller what you plan on doing. You're going to do a renovation loan. And the reason that's important is because you actually have to get a contractor to put together all the bids for the renovation and what it's going to cost, and then you also have to get an appraiser to do a subject to value. So in that situation, $300,000, you're doing $30,000 in renovations. Your purchase price is effectively going to be $330,000 on the financing aspect, even though the actual purchase price is $300,000.
Gotcha. So on the purchase contract, when we're submitting an offer over, we'll show $300,000.
Yep.
And then when we start the loan process and it's completed and ready and under contract, the actual loan amount will be for $330,000, seeing the buyer will get that $30,000 to start that renovation after close of escrow.
The loan amount could be slightly different, but what you're doing is if you were doing a 3.5% loan at $300,000,
yep.
Basically you're going to take the $300,000 and $330,000 and you're going to do 3.5 off $330,000. Okay, so you're building the renovation into the purchase price.
Okay.
And one of the things with these loans, they're not hard at all, but they do take a little bit longer. So usually you're going to tell the seller, a 45 to 60 day escrow is going to be a little bit more accurate than a typical 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, and then will the renovations be done before close of escrow, or is that something that's going to be done after close of escrow?
They're going to be done after close of escrow,
okay,
but
good.
Everything has to be dialed in. You have to get an approved contractor. You have to get all the bids, and everything has to be reviewed. So it's just a little bit longer of a process, but we're here to walk you through the steps, and we can even recommend a contractor if you need us to.
Awesome, that would be a question. Yes, so on the contractor side, you have a list available that's ready to go, that they're kind of available for last minute quotes and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, for sure, we can help you with it. You really want, if you can, you really want someone that's done contracting on these type of loans before, because they understand the paperwork, the bid process, and the things that you have to do them. So what I would recommend is working with a contractor that's done a renovation loan before.
Gotcha, makes sense. So a little bit of a different question on this one. We have a lot of do-it-yourselfers out here, and we have a lot of clients that are contractors. Some are licensed, some are not. If let's say that you're a contractor, but you're not licensed, but you want to do this renovation loan, is this an option, or no? You would have to still hire someone that is licensed to do this in order to get it approved.
Most lenders they're going to want a licensed bonding contractor. So you could obviously supervise the work, do your thing, but it's going to have to be someone that's licensed, and because all that work's going to be done afterwards, and they want to make sure it's done right.
Okay, so they buy the house, we close on the house, the reno gets done. What would be the next step from there? Did the lender send another appraiser out, or how do you make sure the work's been done and it's completed and where it needs to be for this house to appraise for that higher price point that you were aiming for?
Yeah, what's basically going to happen is the contractor is going to get a draw to start the work, and then there's going to be inspections once they get a certain amount done to get more money. And then, the whole process, might be 2 or 3 draws until the renovation's completed, and they just have an inspector come out to make sure that the work has been completed.
Okay. Another random question, because my husband says I do have expensive taste. So let's say you thought it was going to be $30,000 and the contractor gets started and now you want this designer tile.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost another $10,000. Is that something we could add in after, or is it a little too late at that point?
No, that's why the bid is, all the bids and all the things are done at the beginning to make sure. Now, when you're doing the bids, there's always a contingency percentage put in there, but you wouldn't be able to just pick new products or different things you want to do. You really want to get that dialed in at the beginning because they're actually underwriting the loan based upon what you're doing. So you can't really change that. Now, once everything's completed, you can do whatever you want, but it can't be financed into the purchase price, which is what you're doing in this situation.
Gotcha. All right, I think that's some great info right there, and I'm excited to share that product with some of my clients. If you have any questions about that type of loan, you know what to do. Reach on out to
Reggie
or Angela. Have an awesome day.
Have a good one.